all in. And they're off. Runners are racing away for the Bahrain Trophy. There's £200,000 at Group 3 to get the Ladies' Day on the first day of the July meeting here at Newmarket underway. And it's Portland and the blue and orange that show briefly in front early, now joined to the outside by Ancient Wisdom in the all-royal blue there under William Buick. And he will go on at a steady-looking tempo. So it's Ancient Wisdom out in front by about 3 parts of a length to Portland, who wants to go a bit quicker, close up in behind. And then Royal Supremacy is also taking quite a fair old grip of Oisin Murphy in those red silks of the gold cap in 3rd place. And Space Legend under James Doyle in the Wathnam Racing silks, the back marker of the quartet. So Ancient Wisdom now a clear lead, moves away by a length and a half. Also ran 8th in the Derby last time out. Group 1 winner as a 2-year-old last season. Trying to give Charlie Appleby another winner in this race with the Godolphin, having won it with Castleway last Junior Beer a few years ago. At the top of the home straight, shows the way a length and a quarter to Portland, who's notably up in trip today. He goes along in 2nd. Then Royal Supremacy, he's back in 3rd. Also was runner-up in an Italian derby earlier on this season. And Space Legend, who finished in front of him at Royal Ascot, is the back marker of the quartet. They continue their run up the home straight, being led by Ancient Wisdom, a length and a half the call. From Portland in 2nd, more towards the inside, Royal Supremacy, still being biding with this time there on the inside as Oisin Murphy, and then last of the 4 still is Space Legend. So it's Ancient Wisdom who continues to show out in front. To Portland in 2nd, Royal Supremacy still taking a fair old grip there, back in 3rd to the inside of Space Legend as they work now up towards the final half a mile of this opening Bahrain Trophy. Ancient Wisdom trying to lead it out. Shows by a length and a half, maybe a bit more now to Portland in 2nd. Space Legend beginning to make his move wider out. Royal Supremacy sticking more towards the inside as the race now begins in earnest as they head now inside the final 3. It is Ancient Wisdom from Portland. Royal Supremacy looking for that way through. Space Legend now ridden for more to the outside of rivals. Towards the final quarter of a mile they head. Ancient Wisdom still the one to pass. Royal Supremacy gets a good look at things now. Then came Portland, who's under pressure. So too the wider out Space Legend, the final furlong looming. And it's Ancient Wisdom who shows out in front from Royal Supremacy. Portland trying to come back for more, then Space Legend on the climb towards the line. It's Ancient Wisdom finding plenty off the front end under William Buick. And Ancient Wisdom will win the Bahrain Trophy to beat Royal Supremacy in Portland. And last of the 4, Space Legend.
He does have quite an exuberant, extravagant way of racing, and he does seem to be well suited by some ease in the ground. So that was perfect. And Buick was able to dictate matters on his own terms as well. The pace wasn't strong. He threw in a 13.64 furlong in the middle of the race, where he was managing to ease things off in front, and Ancient Wisdom was very amenable to that. And in the finish, he's been game, he's been determined, and he has shown some stamina as well through that final furlong as he stretched away from them. So a likeable effort from Ancient Wisdom. Good to see him back, albeit with pretty much an optimum setup.
2:49.9. That is fully 10 seconds outside the track record here.
Yeah, it's a pretty slow time, isn't it, with ease in the ground, and indicative of what was a fairly tactical race, and one that hasn't really suited Space Legend. It was interesting seeing him in the paddock, just seeing him as an individual. He was just getting a little bit warm. You can see even down his neck, just in the unrunning pictures there, that he has got a little bit warm. And he is a little bit of a buzzy horse. And it probably hasn't suited him, the tempo of this race. But it probably hasn't been ideal that he's kind of got that way before his race as well, to some extent. He tried to make a challenge. He did so briefly, but that petered out. He couldn't sustain it. A stronger tempo of race where he relaxed better would probably help him. Royal Supremacy has run another career best back in 2nd, and there's no reason to knock anything about his performance. And I would think that Andrew Balding will be hopeful that he's got a St Ledger candidate of his own, just the way that he stuck to his task in 2nd place.
Nice horse, isn't he?
He is a nice horse, and he's done everything right. He's relaxed, even though the race was quite tactical. Oisin Murphy getting a bit of cover on him up that inside rail just to allow him to get into a bit of a rhythm. He's tried very hard to land a blow on Ancient Wisdom, but it was only briefly that he was able to before the winner stretched away again.
we happy that that is as good as Portland is?
Yeah, I think so. He's given chase to Ancient Wisdom. He's been perfectly poised to challenge if he was good enough and capable of doing so. And we had a point where there were all four of them really in with a good chance, and Portland was obviously in that pack, but he just couldn't quite go through with it. He came in here with an official rating of 105, and it's probably about where he lies.
Space Legend was not exactly done too many favours by his eventual track position either. James Doyle and Oisin Murphy were swapping places quite a bit in the early part of the race.
Yeah, I think
Oisin decided to follow William Buick, and that was the right thing to do because he got the cover and he got the draft into the race.
Yeah, I think that's right. And once Space Legend is done with inside that final half furlong, there was nothing left, and James has been easy on him. So he's better than this Space Legend. A different type of race would certainly suit him. Stronger tempo of race would suit him. They might be inclined to go back to a mile and a half. You know, it could be that he doesn't quite have the stamina to be a Ledger horse. But individually, I'd be forgivable of the run.
Charlie Appleby invariably brings a strong squad to this fixture. He's got the lightly raced and completely unexposed Almori City in the next. He's got the heavy favourite with the Superlative on Saturday, who looked quite an exciting 2-year-old, and his 2-year-old later in the 6 furlong Fillies maiden right down the bottom has been extremely well supported.
It's a big meeting for them, isn't it, and one where they like to use it as a pathway towards bigger targets for horses come the late summer and into the autumn.
By Dubawi out of the Dalakani mare Golden Valentine. Ancient Wisdom with that exaggerated knee action, hitting the ground hard, finding the cushion here at Newmarket's July Festival to his liking. And onwards and upwards now. This is not one, given the way he moves, that they'll be going abroad with.
No, I
think not, at least not to places where the ground is quick.
No, we said this was where the story starts for the St Ledger, really, in terms of key and trial races when you look back, and that's 2 months away now to the St Ledger, and surely this is a horse that will be heading back to Doncaster, where he gained his Group 1 win as a 2-year-old.
OK, I'm sure Tom and Dave will have further thoughts on what, in the end, Tom, was a pretty decisive performance from a horse who was one of the best juveniles of 2023.
Ancient Wisdom has just won the Bahrain Trophy. That's the 3rd win in the race for William Buick. He won it with Castleway for Godolphin last season. Congratulations. It looked like you were able to dictate things and control it from the front.
Yeah, he was, and he was very happy being in front. And you know, it's the first time this year where I haven't had to put him on any pressure throughout his races. You know, in the Dante, everything was just happening a bit quick for him, and in the Derby, you know, the Derby's a Derby, so that's never an easy race. And well, today, just able to do it in his own time, in his own rhythm, and his own comfort zone. So he just kept building away, and you know, he's incredibly straightforward on his horse. And the trip today was a question mark, but you know, delighted for him to do it the way he did, and you'd have to say he's put himself into a St Ledger picture after that.
And did you feel enough stamina there in the closing stage? It did seem to put his stamp on it in the end.
Yeah, I did, although it probably wasn't an out-and-out stamina test. But I thought he stayed well enough, and you know, you'd have to be very hopeful for mile 6.
And finally, was that bit of rain important to him?
Yeah, it definitely was, but beautiful ground up there. It's on the easy side of good, so it's taken it very well.
William, thank you.
Thanks, Lydia.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.